Hey, I just wanted to follow up with some things that I talked about last week. I had several people reach out wanting more of an explanation. So I was talking about the question is are you sick? Like, do you have a virus or bacterial infection? Or is your body just simply detoxifying? So let's talk about that. So we know, I think a lot of people know that we are inundated constantly with toxins. I was actually, making a list here of what I could think of off the top of my head. And it includes everything from fluoride, pesticides, skincare and body care products. A lot of them have what's called endocrine disruptors, but there's also some really nasty chemicals in a lot of those products. The food we eat, are you eating organic? Are you eating, free range, meat from free range animals and that's been maybe on a regenerative or biodynamic farm? And why is that important? Are you eating a lot of inflammatory foods that can mimic, that will make you feel like you're sick? Are you eating foods that have glyphosate? Are you eating foods that cause inflammatory response in the body, like a lot of wheat or beans or dairy or sugar? Sugar is the main one. The question is are you sick because you're eating a lot of bad food, or not even a lot, but it's just this kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back? Is the air quality good where you live? Is the water quality good where you live? Are you just, your body can only handle so much. At some point, our body has a breaking point. And for you, the breaking point might be different than it is for me. For instance, I have an autoimmune disease. I deal with, definitely doesn't take much for inflammation to rear its ugly head. In my case, though, I don't get sick. I get pain, but I don't get sick. And I think it's because I'm constantly doing things to detoxify my body. So let's talk about detoxification for a minute. So our body detoxifies in a multitude of ways. One is through our poop. Now, our poop is how our body clears itself of garbage that we're taking in. So if you're not pooping every day, or as Jamie Tart would say in Ted Lasso, poopy, if you're not pooping every day, that those toxins are literally just sitting in your body. And many people don't know this, but one of the common things associated with breast cancer is actually constipation. Are you having explosive poops every day? Because that's just as bad as being constipated. Your body's not, using the proper transport system to get these toxins out of your body. Are you sweating? Sweating is one of the big ways that we eliminate toxins. So it's very important that we sweat. I actually went many, many years where I was unable to sweat. I was visiting down in Florida. It's 95 degrees on. I'm wearing pants and a black shirt. I like black because it makes me look thinner. So I wear a lot of black. And I wasn't sweating. And it wasn't until I started doing something very specific for me that worked, that helped me sweat. And when I first started sweating, it was nasty, so we can go down a different tangent. Do you have a lot of body odor? You might have body odor because those are toxins coming out of your body. And deodorant may cover up the smell, but the bigger issue is what is causing the body odor. I'm a big fan of root cause. So one of the things I recommend for people is to, if you have constipation, if you have little pebbly poops, if you're going small amounts every day, there's a lot of things you can do to help that. And I mentioned that first as far as detoxification because it is, in my experience, the number one problem that people are having. Ideally, we would go 2 to 3 times a day after every large meal, not even just once a day. But if you're not even going once a day, or it's not a really good elimination, think about that may be an issue. So number one is take a digestive enzyme. Digestive enzyme will help you break down your food better. You may want to try something like glutathione, and that actually helps your body with detoxification. I like this company because I can drop it in water and it's going to be more absorbable, so I don't have to worry about being digested in the stomach or in the small intestine. So this is more absorbable. So make sure you're doing that. I've actually recently started again using this product, which is Zach Bush's product, whom I absolutely adore. If you haven't found Zach Bush, he's a medical doctor. He used to work in oncology. And one day he had this like eye-opening moment that why are we giving patients chemo rather than, trying to get to the cause of why they have cancer. So, and he's a big fan of also regenerative farming and make sure we're getting enough minerals in our food and so on and so forth. So start with that, get a good digestive enzyme. And if you need help with that, reach out because I have a lot of good products I use. The ion stuff you can find online, so look for that. And then another thing I find incredibly helpful is this product. It's called L-glutamine. It helps with something called leaky gut, and most people have constipation or problems with diarrhea. They have leaky gut, and what it does is this particular product I like more so than the other ones is because it's got turmeric in it, which is a fabulous anti-inflammatory. So, it's a powder, it's got a lemony taste, and it's going to be more absorbable than a pill. And I would swish it around, let it get absorbed under my tongue for faster distribution in my body. And again, if this is something you're interested in, this is the company. I usually buy it through FullScript because I don't want to have to go to 10 different sources. And if this is something you're interested in, just shoot me a message and I can send you a link and I can get you a discount too. I'm happy to provide discounts. And then the other thing is if you're really looking for something, if you have good elimination, if you're sweating, if you're doing all those natural detoxifying things, if you're really limiting sugar, glyphosate, through non-organic foods, if you're doing all those other things, you're not eating seed oils and you're still having a problem with your immune system, I recently created a packet of my favorite supplements. They're specific for boosting the immune system. It's called a company called Optimal Health Systems. I get this little packet, and for me, I only take them when I'm starting to feel like something's coming on. It's got vitamin C. It's got it doesn't have vitamin C. It's got vitamin D3 and K2. It's got a really good B vitamin. It's got something for adrenal support because a lot of times we get sick because our adrenals are exhausted. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll post the link below and you can check it out. And with that link, again, you'll get a discount. I'm all about discounts and making sure people can get really high quality supplements without needing to take a second mortgage because supplements do get expensive. And if you buy cheap stuff, you're probably not getting good quality supplements. The supplement world usually has to do directly with quality. So I will post that in, and anyway, work on your elimination. Really do the best you can to just avoid like foods that got this cornstarch and corn syrup, and avoid corn period because it's very inflammatory. Avoid GMOs, and I'll be talking more in depth over the next couple of days of food specifically, but get your elimination working and drink a lot of high quality water. And then if you still feel like you need to have something on hand to help support your immune system, definitely get it, because Now that I'm in the sunny state of Florida, I'm getting vitamin D naturally. It's really great. I don't necessarily have to take a vitamin D supplement. But, coming from, I've lived up north for most of my life, and I know that winters can be brutal if you're not getting enough vitamin D. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and hopefully this answers some questions. Please share this video with anyone you know who seems to have a problem with chronic illness. Take probiotics. That's going to help support your gut. We know that the immune system is in the gut. So we want to have as healthy of a gut as possible, which is why I talked about the detoxification. Anyway, thank you if you've listened to me this far. I appreciate it. And have a wonderful day and many blessings to you. Thanks.